everyone. I'm Brian, and I'm part of the committee, as Dr. DeCaro just mentioned. As you see this, we've got NTID. It was established 50 years ago as a big experiment, a grand experiment. And the whole world was looking at NTID at the time to see if it would be successful or not. And obviously we became successful. From the beginning until 1988, when what happened in 1988 was the Gallaudet Deaf President Now protest. What they expressed was they really wanted to have a deaf president. That happened in the spring. And then here, that same year in the fall, you see this right here? It's a wave. That's my analogy for what happened. So here, you can see that the students are represented by the wave. They hit the cliff, and we wanted to see what was happening, so there was a protest that was here. And what was happening, the students were not happy with how the teachers were managing the students. They were looking at them as if they were kids, children. And so at the time, Dr. DeCaro was the dean and had a special convocation at that time for all of the teachers and all of the staff and the student leaders to have a dialogue all day long about exactly this. And this is the title of that convocation, Attitudes Toward Deafness. And so they had this dialogue back at that time. And they actually published a book. And what all the concepts and people were talking about were put into this book. And if you remember, I. King Jordan did become president at Gallaudet, and he also came here. And you can see the title here, Attitudes Toward Deafness. And what happened during that convocation was they had breakout groups, and they had special presenters, for example, the Gallaudet presidents that came and other people. And the point of that discussion was attitude. And this section here is talking about how the convocation started. It started with the students freely expressing their feelings, conveying their feelings. And Dr. Carol, you wrote that, right? Yep. Okay. And also, we wanted to let them know that we were grateful for their leadership and participation in this particular convocation. The gratitude that we had for the student leaders. And this was him, back in the day. So I was a kid back then. And he wrote the preface. And this section explains what happened at Gallaudet. And then in March of 1988, the student leaders did advance this idea about the students feeling like they're looked down upon, this pejorative attitude and a paternalistic attitude that the professors and the staff had. At that time, the faculty realized they needed to evaluate themselves and how they behave toward the students. And that is how the convocation started. So they had the dialogue all day long, and then collected all the information, put it into the booklet, and then this was the final conclusion. We need to have more forums like that one. And there needs to be a space, an informal space for teachers and students to be able to interact and socialize. So for 28 years, here we are. Did those two things happen? No. You're right, they didn't happen. What happened was LBJ became empty. There were no forums, the people weren't there. So again, this issue came up last year. And you can see the waves breaking against the rocks, same idea. But somehow, it became this way. So it really influenced the whole community. It influenced the community very deeply. So again, the students conveyed their feelings. We need to move forward, is one of the things that sign says, if you can't read it. We had teachers, administrators, also with the students, listening. And Jim came and joined hands with the Walk of Solidarity. There were former student leaders that were here. This is one of the former student leaders, and he was a student leader at 1988, and he's now a professor. He teaches history, and he was there to help with that. So the NTID administration and the NTID Faculty Congress got together and really started to grapple with these issues, figure out what it was that was going on. NTID established several committees, but also the students, again, were pointing to barriers of attitude. So the first time in 28 years, we're again going to be revisiting this. We're going to have a convocation. So it's attitude towards deafness revisited. It's going to be communication, diversity, and cultural sensitivity. So this is what Terry Buckley has written. He said thank you to the CAN leaders. But really, diversity and communication is something that has been pushed forward. And that is what we really would like to do. He also asked Dr. DeCaro took responsibility for this convocation. And it will be happening on Saturday, the 19th of November. It's going to be all day from 9 till 3:30. It's just before Thanksgiving, we know that. All right, 5 minutes left, just so you know. Okay, thank you. This is what our focus is going to be. This is agency. Allowing you, if you guys feel like you're able to make your own decisions here about your own future, that's the cultural sensitivity part. And then intersectionality is we have so many different identities within our population, race, sexual preference, etc. Because NTID is a very unique place and there's so many identities and so much diversity. So these are the two focuses of the convocation. So what is it that you can expect when you get there? We do have presenters that are flying in from across the country. These people are recognized in the field, they're top in their field. We also will have a student panel, and some of you will be on that panel. And right now, we're trying to get a hold of you to see who is going to be who wants to be representing the community on that panel. Now, the dialogue and what that's going to look like is still evolving. We haven't finished that. We haven't gotten that decided yet. We have a lot to do in about a month. So, what is your role? We want you please to register. The link is there. I mean, this is a historical moment. The last time it happened was right before the Gallaudet protest and right after the Gallaudet protest. So please,